Welcome back to my channel. Did you guys hear that this week Reddit announced that they finally earned their first profit in history? In the history of Reddit, as an almost 20-year-old company, they finally generated their first profit, which is exciting. Congratulations, Reddit. However, in this video, what I want to share is how Reddit could have achieved profit significantly faster. And if you are a business owner who does not have the luxury of waiting 2 decades to turn your first profit, stick around because these tips apply to you as well. Let's dive in. Okay, so Reddit announced this week that in Q3, their earnings were about $348 million. And out of that, about 12% was profit, making it their first profit in history since they were founded in 2005. When I saw that, I immediately tagged our COO on LinkedIn because she's from the Bay Area and she always talks about how tech companies take decades before they become profitable. And I was like, you're right. Look at Reddit. They finally did it. So we're excited for them. But when you go to the Reddit website, there are so many obvious red flags on how they could have done things differently to get that profit sooner, okay? So number one is if you go to their career page, they say that they only hire in North America and Europe. And that to me is really dumb. To be honest, today's companies, especially with this access to the global workforce in a post-COVID world, today's smart business leaders recognize that your business is going to be run by 3 different components. So first, you are going to have that core internal American-based employees. That's awesome. They're going to be high level. They're going to understand the nuances. They're going to do a great job. Then number 2, you're also going to use AI because AI is evolving so fast that if, as much as possible, if AI can do just as good of a job, why not use AI, right? And then number 3, you're also going to incorporate some offshore labor that is still highly skilled, highly talented, high level, all of that good stuff. However, they happen to live in a country that has a lower cost of living, which means you can pay significantly less, but it's still a fair and competitive wage for them. For example, I lived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for 8 years, and then I moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I'm based now, and all of a sudden, my cost increased 10x. So I had to make 10 times more just to have the same standard of living. So that's one of the benefits of using offshore labor. The skill and the ability and the expertise is the same, but the pay rate can be slightly less, and it's still a good pay rate on that side. Now, again, in terms of the global workforce and when you're outsourcing, statistically speaking, it's most likely gonna come from an African country today. And that's because there's millions of college graduates with great English. And so statistically speaking, the workforce in the future is gonna have a lot of African professionals on your team. So to recap, point number 1 is that Reddit made a mistake by only hiring North American talent when good, innovative business leaders today understand that you should have your core internal team, you should use AI, and then you should use offshore team members, and statistically speaking, the most likely going to come from an African country. Now, number 2, when you're on the Reddit careers page, you also see something called emerging talent. And at first, I was really excited because in my world, in the outsourcing world, emerging talent means hiring someone from Kigali or Kampala or some other place that is just emerging as a hub for outsourcing, which is really exciting. However, in their case, they meant emerging talent as in fresh college graduates or professionals still in college and still studying at the same time. So I'm very happy to see that US college grads are getting great opportunities to work at a company like Reddit. However, I noticed that like a software engineer was getting about $50 or $60 an hour as an intern. Okay, that blows my mind because if you were to hire, let's say, a software engineer in a place like Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, you would pay half that hourly rate and you would get someone really skilled, like someone who's been doing this for over a decade and is just a solid person that you'd want on your tech team. So it doesn't make sense if your emerging talent is only limited to fresh college grads who have never had a job before, when you could also incorporate some emerging talent and get some professionals who have more years of expertise and an even, again, lower hourly rates. Now, the third thing you'll notice if you're on the Reddit website is there's something called Reddit for Good. And when you click on that, it's all about their impact on communities. Again, we love that such a big company is socially conscious, but what I would like to include is they could do a lot of impact in African communities. Again, if they just hired from an African community, they wouldn't have to donate money or volunteer or do any of that stuff. Simply just hiring and creating great jobs on the continent would do wonders for the African communities. Plus, again, Reddit would get some awesome employees and it would also fulfill their social mission. So those are the three things I think Reddit kind of messed up on. They limited themselves to North American talent, and they use emerging talent as fresh college graduates in the US only, and they are pursuing doing good without realizing that sometimes just hiring and giving opportunity to someone who doesn't have the opportunity is the biggest social impact you can make of all. Now, let's say you're a business owner who does not have the luxury of waiting almost 20 years to get your first profit. These tips apply to you as well. I know that at Cradle, when I started, I had to make profit from day one because I had kids who were depending on me. In fact, I launched Cradle 1 month before I gave birth to my second child. And so, yeah, diapers are expensive. Just clothes and food and everything in America is expensive. So I had to earn profit from day one. What I did is I did everything I could in the beginning until I got busy enough, and then I hired someone who was based in Ethiopia to help me with some of my back end work, and within 3 months, our business tripled. Why? Because I had someone that I could afford to help me who was really, really skilled, and she helped grow our business and allowed me to focus on things that were more revenue generating. And today, whenever we need to hire internally, we also hire from the African continent because that's where the best talent is coming from. So if you're a business owner, the best thing you can do is, again, focus on your core internal team. Yes, you probably have some team members based in the US for obvious reasons. Use AI whenever you can, but then also, again, incorporate some offshore team members to help you get the team and the workforce that you need without the cost. And that's why it's so important to be open to talent anywhere, because the fastest growing franchises in today's world and the best startups and tech companies are using African talent. And I know that because they work with us at Cradle. So all this to say, we love Reddit, congratulations, but for companies who do not have the ability to wait 20 years, start thinking about who your next hire could be, and can that be done remotely and offshore? And if you are someone from Reddit, please reach out to us or go direct and just start hiring from the African continent as part of your emerging talent strategy. It would be so smart on so many levels. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you are watching this and you are a Reddit user, let me know. Put it in the comments below what you think Reddit could have done to make profits faster.